Here we have an equation 2 sine x equals to 5x squared plus 2x plus 3. Now this is a weird equation because it has two parts. On the left hand side we have trigonometry, on the right hand side we have a polynomial, and those things normally don't mix well. So when you see equations like this, it's normally an indication that we need to study those functions separately and see what we're going to get. Now let's look on the left hand side. We have 2 sine x. We know that sine is limited between -1 and 1, and therefore 2 times sine x will be limited between -2 and 2. Now what about right hand side? On the right hand side we have a quadratic function. So in general, if I have a quadratic function ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants, this function could behave in two ways. If a is positive, we have a function that looks like this, and we have a minimum of this function. If a is negative, we have a maximum in the function. In our case, a is 5, b is 2, and c is 3. A is 5, it's positive, so our function looks like this, and we have a minimum. So now the question is, what is that minimum? Now one thing we know from study of quadratic function, that horizontal coordinate of the minimum, or maximum, if you have maximum, is minus b over 2a. If you're not familiar with this fact, it can be easily obtained either by completing the square, or if you know calculus, you can take derivative and obtain it that way. So in our case, we have a minimum, b is 2, a is 5, so x of the minimum point is minus 1/5. Now if you substitute this minus 1/5 into right hand side here, we're going to get that the minimum value of this function on the right is 2 and 4/5, which is clearly greater than 2. So what we got now is that left hand side cannot exceed 2, but the right hand side is always greater than 2. What it tells us is that there's no such an x where the left hand side equals to the right hand side, and therefore our equation has no solutions.